Here we go.
Okay, nice. All right, guys, welcome back for another Sunday Market Blitz. We're going to kick it off here with DXY, run through the usual pairs, and finish up with some crypto. For those of you guys that don't know what the Sunday Market Blitz is, Angelo and I prepare our analyses for you guys at the beginning of the week. And this is more of a swing trading approach. So we'll show you guys what we're expecting for the week ahead based on really, again, the 4-hour daily time frame. And then present to you guys these two trade scenarios and pretty much our logic behind it. So we're going to walk you through these analyses and see what we can come up with for this week. So like always, we start off here on DXY. And we do this because this is the US dollar. This is showing us literally the strength of the US dollar. And it also makes up for 80% of all trade. And it is also considered a safe haven currency. So it's really important to kind of understand what the dollar is doing just in terms of trend, because it does, move a lot of the market. If the dollar is doing something, you better bet you're going to see all those USD pairs start to move to some degree, whether it's a correlated movement or an inversely correlated movement. The dollar really is the big dog. So it's, we use it as an indicator. We won't really base trades off of correlations, but it's good to understand what the trend is on the dollar, especially if it's the big mover, right? So that's all we're doing here. So we're on the daily time frame with this one, and we can see it's overall very bullish. This is what I'm going to do with every single pair. We're going to jump to the daily, assess the trend, and then drop to the 4-hour and make more sense of it. Actually, for this week, though, DXY, I'm just going to stay on the daily because we are super overextended and we are at a major level. So 103 resistance, price action's resting there. How price action reacts here is going to determine a lot for us for a lot of reasons. One, 103 is key resistance. If we just zoom out here on the monthly, we can see that this has held at this level since all the way back in 2016, right? We've kind of bounced between 103 and 90, right? Quite a few times. So this is really a crucial area. We're at the top, we're extended, and we've approached this level very fast. So if we continue through this, we could be seeing more upside. But if we run into significant resistance here, we want to be aware of that because, what would happen? A huge fall would be very likely at that point. Okay, and that'd be nice considering kind of the state of everything right now. We would like to see some sort of pullback. We are definitely overextended here on the dollar. But based on what price action is telling us, we don't see any signs of reversal just yet, but we're going to wait. So that's really the point. We need to stay patient here on DXY. We need to see how it reacts at 103. And these are the two safest trade scenarios, right? So if it continues to rally, we really want it to clear 103, get some sort of higher low, and then just continue with the strong trend. That would give us a lot of confidence in saying, okay, the dollar's still bullish, right? We cleared 103, which is supposed to be a pretty hefty zone, but we moved through it with ease. So it's probably going to keep going higher, and then we'll look for higher levels and then reanalyze at that point. Now, if we do get consolidation now, right, let's just say it starts flatlining right now, or it comes down a little bit, gives us double top, whatever, some sort of consolidation, then we could spot some sort of 4-hour bearish trend, right? Maybe like on a break of that. Then we would have more confidence saying, okay, the dollar's bearish on the, for the week ahead, let's say, and then we're looking towards lower support levels. So really we're in a waiting period. Be careful with the dollar. It's definitely, again, a big dog, not something to, jump the gun on. Be patient, wait for it to show its hand, and then make good decisions. But yeah, I mean, it's a crazy market right now, guys. We're seeing so much volume. You got to be careful. A lot of these things, a lot of these pairs are moving super quickly, small windows of execution, and not really forming great structure on the higher time frames. So the more this goes on, the more it's, it's less sustainable, the faster this climbs. And that just means we're going to get a big fall at some point. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's DXY. Let's jump over to AU and do the exact same thing. So we're here on the daily and we're grabbing the trend. That's it. And so overall, we've been bearish since back here, right? Moving lower, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, strong characteristics of a bearish trend. Then we got a transition here. Once this lower high broke, we got a new high, came back down, gave us a higher low, and then was bullish from there. So this was a transition bullish. Then it came back here, started reversing, broke a higher low there, broke this support level, 0.74, came back up, retested, and then was bearish from that point. So this here was really the transition back to bearish was here, and then you could see volume was injected into the market, and it just started tanking from there. So we're pretty much at 0.7. overall bearish. Let's go to the 4-hour now, make more sense of this and see what the likely scenarios are for this week. Okay, so here's that transition that we talked about right here. Break of a higher low, which was also a bit of a range, right? Started consolidating, moving lower, nice descending pattern there. Break, retest, dump. So that's the whole transition right here. So very much bearish now. What can we see for the week ahead? We're kind of between these two zones. Definite lack of structure. We have a fib drawn from the top of the leg to the bottom of the leg. And we can see that there's a lack of structure. So, I mean, ideally, we would like to see structure, which would mean price action has to pull back, hit 38.2, get close to this confluence area right near a 0.725 resistance and a 38.2. Any type of reversal in there would obviously be a great short opportunity. That would be great, but that's really far from happening. The most likely, based on what we can see recently that's been happening, is that price action is going to dump some more, keep pushing lower. It's going to break 0.74, in which case we'll start looking for structure below 0.7. Okay, so, I mean, you got to wait. Just got to wait. This is really kind of mid-move still got a lot of volume present. And this is more or less consolidation, all this here. So this could pop pretty much at any second. Could just go for the downside or it could pull back. So be patient, wait for that. You never really want to get in on a trade or a trending position if we're really not near any confluence levels. So like confluence areas. So like up here would be the most ideal for a lot of reasons. There's tons of resistance there. It'd be a very ideal spot for a reversal to take place, which would increase our risk reward, present us a high probability setup, and so on. But I mean, this is AU. It's looking super, super bearish. And we can even go to the daily just to take a look and make sense of this now that we've talked about it on the 4-hour. So you could definitely see it moving through 0.7, right? Getting real low here, giving us a new lower low, pulling back, then forming structure. Because, I mean, this is a lot of volume. You know, this is obviously a higher time frame move that's taking place here. And this kind of goes hand in hand with the dollar as well, right? We're seeing a ton of volume out of the US dollar, right? Pushing up on DXY as we covered, and then AU is responding in an inversely correlated way, which is as to be expected. So tons of volume there, but ultimately just have to wait for this one as well. You know, either wait for reactions at 0.7 or it's going to break through. Okay, so let's move over to AJ. AJ is actually looking decent. Not bad, but let's go to the daily first before we break it down. So we are super extended here on AJ. See this rally, huge push to the upside. We found resistance at 95. And now this is looking like it's forming a giant reversal pattern, right? Almost like a head and shoulders. If this was the left shoulder, this was the head, and now the right shoulder is forming now. Possibly, you know, we'll see. We need a bit more price action to really confirm that. But it's looking good. It's definitely looking like a reversal. However, we are still pretty much bullish until we break 91 right here. So let's go to the 4-hour with that in mind and break this down. Okay. Just expand this, get this centered. All right, cool. So very bullish here, as you guys can see. Price action experienced most of the rally over here. Most of the volume was in this push. And then we started getting a little bit choppy, but, you know, still very much bullish, right? And then we ran into 95 resistance, came back from there. We broke 92.85, hit 91, came back, retested, and then went bearish again. So this is the transition here, right? On the break of these higher lows, broke lower, retested, and is continuing. So that's a good sign. That's the first step of, you know, a pretty big retracement on the higher time frame, which is what we want anyway. We've rallied a little bit too much here on AJ. It would be nice to catch, you know, a pretty large pullback. So that's what we're looking for. Assuming that this new bearish 4-hour trend continues, I wanted to see 91 break, retest, and then we're entering short on, you know, a nice reversal, a couple wicks, nice bearish variations. That would be phenomenal for a trade setup. And then this is looking like just over 4-1, risking 70, getting about 300, and we're targeting this 88 support level. So it's looking likely. I like the volume, but again, it's got to confirm. So it's got to follow through. It's got to give us a low. It's got to pull back, give us the lower high. Without that, without structure here, you know, the trade doesn't exist. So you got to wait for that. Okay, now, if this fails to happen, let's say we hit 91 again and it rejects from there like so, I'm not really going to feel comfortable taking longs off this area. Not yet, right? Because we are technically bearish on the 4 hour and it could just consolidate. There is no presence of a bullish trend yet, at least not a structure forming one. So I would like to see rejection off 91, get above 92.85, and then get a higher low. That would give a lot of confidence, and then longing, to the upside, target prior highs, maybe even beyond that, depending on how good the structure is. Okay, but yeah, these are the two scenarios. A lot of volume, so be careful. Really, really got to make sure that a direction is chosen here, right? Because you don't want to get caught. What is going on here with this? You don't want to get caught in some consolidation or on the wrong side of the market. You're like, this is still 200 pips. That's a high volume, little high volume range right there. These two zones, it's a good distance. So you don't want to get caught off guards, guys. Just wait for the real trend to present itself, and then you should be fine. Okay, that's AJ. This will be really nice to see. We've been waiting on this one for a while. I've kind of had this at the bottom of my list for a few weeks, just because, again, super overextended. If we can go back to the daily for just a second, just crazy gains, absolutely nuts. So from the transition down here, all the way down at 82.5 to the high, AJ appreciated 16%. It's crazy, 1,300 pips just in 50 days. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. It's a lot of movement for a couple months right there. So point is, a pullback would be nice to see, wouldn't hurt. And because of the volume, there'll be some good profits there. Okay, so that's AJ. Again, these are all put out as live charts. If you guys want to jump over to TradingView at any point during the week to see how these are progressing, you can do that. They're dropped in Telegram and Discord. All right, so let's move over to UJ here. What do we got? Super overextended, kind of been the theme lately, as we all know. Very, very bullish. So on the daily, we know it's pretty overextended. It is bullish. We kind of got to go to the 4 hour now, make more sense of what's actually going on and what the possibilities are. In a perfect world, we would like to see this correct, just see normal market movement. Because when you have this kind of rally this quickly, especially, it's just not sustainable in any market. I don't care what chart it is. There's a pullback coming sooner or later. And the longer this goes on, the more dramatic the pullback's going to be. So we'll see. But yeah, in a perfect world, pullback now would be really nice. And then we could start, reanalyzing it, more stable levels, lower support levels like 125, maybe even lower. But bullish on the daily. Let's go to the 4 hour now. See what we got here. All right, and the 4 hour is actually not looking too bad. Things are kind of clear here. I mean, we have a very nice bullish channel, pretty steady. That's clear to see. Then we got this bit of a flag. It continued upwards as the flag normally does, right? It's a continuation pattern. So this was nice to see. Popped up, hit 131, and now it reversed from there. It's on the way down. So
it's got hit 130 worm.
130 worm, guys. UJ. It's a new record. We haven't been at these levels in a while. So ideally, guys, we need structure, right? It's a bit overextended here on the 4 hour even. So this would be nice to see 127 hit, nice higher low, and then, classic continuation from there. Nice bullish setups, great entry. It'd be close to a 4-to-1. And that's just with targeting the prior high. I actually dropped it a little bit shorter. What is this, about 130? Yeah, about 131, right below it, just about 300 pips, 205 pips. And that's just to the prior high. So this is a good trade, really, any way you cut it, if it does play out with giving a structure and then continuing. So we'll be looking for that. But just for some perspective, we are still 200 pips away from this support level, which is pretty nuts, right? Just to show you guys the type of volume we're dealing with. These are big numbers, crazy stuff. And UJ, again, also, is dependent on what DXY is doing. It's, it's the US dollar here still we're talking about. So you got to be aware of that. If DXY reverses like a madman, you better believe this is going to dump. Okay, UJ actually is a little exaggerated in its correlation, meaning like if DXY moves 1%, UJ will move like twice as much, let's say. So it's just a little more dramatic movement. So that's just something interesting to note. Okay, so we're looking for this long scenario, right? Very much in trend, closest to happening, high probability trade if we do see structure form there. So we know that we're looking for that. Now, for us to consider UJ bearish on this time frame, right? To kind of kick off this pullback, the higher time frame pullback, if you will. This is what we need to see first. A break of 127.7, a nice low, really below that. You don't want to see a break and then like low volume. You really want to see a level break. It's actually broken. There's no question, right? We get that low, then it pulls back. We get the lower high, and then we're looking for bearish variations, strong rejection of resistance, and then we could consider shorts at that point. And this could even be maybe played into as a domino effect, right? Because we want to see this 4-hour transition first, and then the daily transition is going to come in. And then maybe we could even ride this down a little bit, lower to the next support level and so on and so on, really blowing out our risk to reward, which would be great. So that's a possibility. You'd have to manage it, see how price action reacts, but just showing you guys a potential according to, the higher time frames. So that's interesting. UJ is actually looking pretty decent, but yeah, it's had a lot of volume, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit on that. So let's move over to EJ. Oh shit. Look at this gap, yo.
Let me see.
Oh man. All right, this candle wasn't here when I analyzed this a couple hours ago.
Sheesh.
So right at 4, we were on this doji essentially, or no, it was pretty much just doji. And we gapped. So the open of this candle was here, guys, and then it just shot up. So we actually gapped 120 pips on open. That's pretty large. I don't know. That's a much larger gap than normal. So something to note there. Obviously, hands off EJ for the time being. Let this kind of simmer down. You don't really want to come out of the gate with that much volume. You can't do shit with that. And also, spread's going to be whack right now on this anyway. So just steer clear of EJ. Let's just analyze it as if this candle's not here, because these two trade scenarios are still pretty much valid. We just got to wait for this to calm down. All right, so daily time frame first. What are we gathering from this time frame? Simply the trend. That's it. So very bullish. We could see that we kind of broke out of this massive flag on this bullish channel here, rallied up to 137 resistance, consolidated a little bit, then rallied through it, found resistance, came back through it, and now we're testing 137 as resistance once again. Now we didn't break a higher low, not yet anyway, so we are still technically bullish, but I think the 4 hour is going to have a little more info for us. So let's zoom in here. I do see a question. Do you think it's a broker issue? You notice no gap on other broker charts. Yeah, Jack, that's definitely a possibility then. This is FXCM. So yeah, definite possibility. So that will vary too, guys, depending on how a broker, reports their data. If they're experiencing a lot of volume or something, you may see, a variety of gaps across brokers. I guess FXCM is really not doing so well right now.
They're
on
not
this
doing
one.
too hot, huh? These fucking
Yeah,
guys.
they're struggling a bit. Or they just maybe they had a bunch of EJ positions they needed to wipe out. I don't know.
Probably.
Just stop on some people. Because I mean, this is a level. Maybe there were a bunch of stops right there that they just wiped. Who knows? But all right. So here on the 4 hour, guys, this is the transition. Huge reversal up here. Came flying back through 137. Right. This is where we wanted to see reactions to confirm this bullish, but there was a lack of reactions at 137. Right. Came right through it, pushed up, and then we got a bearish, resistance reaction as resistance, pushing price action back down. So that's interesting, right? We're newly bearish on the 4 hour, overall bullish in the higher time frame. So what's going to happen, right? What's the possibilities? So we have to stay within our 4 hour zones, right? We're not going to go ahead and choose a weekly support level to target. That doesn't make sense, right? Because everything is kind of conflicting that. So we're going to play within our means, see what's possible, target a 4 hour level. And very simply, I'd like to see a retest of, this minor level here, right at 137. One more touch would give me confidence in going short with nice bearish variations, maybe a nice engulfing, tweezer top, good rejection, something like that. And then I can enter short here. And there's enough volume between these two zones where we actually get almost a 3-to-1, risking 50 pips roughly. Again, depending where price action closes, that will vary, but 60 for 140. So really, or 50 for 140. So really not bad at all. The absolute max you could do based on just these parameters, 70 for 140. Not bad at all. So that'd be the short scenario. Again, not looking like it right now, but this could happen, right? Let's just say we start consolidating like crazy, and then we get a nice little transition there. Boom, you could short on that. That's fine. That's ideally what we want to see. Not this crap. But that's the short scenario. So we'll wait for that to happen. If we are to consider EJ bullish again, very simply, we need to see what we didn't see over here. A higher low above 137 with good follow through, right? That'll give us confidence in entering long. And then we would simply target prior highs to start, which will put us about 225 pips. And you'll get well over 2-to-1, 3-to-1, something like that, depending on where that higher low actually forms. But yeah, I mean, so these are the two scenarios. EJ is looking pretty good this week. I mean, if it cuts the shit right now and stops doing this stuff, at least on FXCM, we'll probably get one of these setups to play out, and there'll be at least a 2-to-1 on the table. So that's exciting. EJ is kind of high on the list. Be aware of that. But yeah, it looks good. So let's go to gold. This one's interesting. We're actually newly bearish. Yeah, we're newly bearish here, guys. On the daily, 4-hour, you name it, right? Because this was the higher low here. 1930 was the level. We really broke below that this past week, right? First time in a while since only back in February, right? We consolidated since February to now. Finally chose a direction. It looks like anyway, it's pushing lower, and it actually already retested on a quick wick off of these lows here. You like that?
A quick wick. Oh my god, dude, that's hilarious.
Right. Quote me.
Fuck, man. Quick
That's
wick.
you got to be careful, guys. Quick wick will get you. So newly bearish, guys. Be aware of that. But let's go to the 4-hour and see what's going on here. Let's make more sense of it. So here's that. Here's that retest right here. So it literally blew through the range, totally disrespected it, which is interesting because we've seen so much reaction in the past, right? All three of these levels had tons of reaction from March to April. Okay, that pretty much that whole month or 2 months, whatever, month and a half. And then just total lack of respect here. It literally melted through this level perfectly. No resist. I mean, no support, no struggle at all. Fell all the way to 1870. Found, good support there. Reversed pretty sharply on that engulfing. Came back up to retest 38.2, and it's looking bearish now. And again, this did happen quick. This was a very small opportunity of entry. It would have had to be honestly on that engulfing. I know Ash probably got this. He's always talking about this quick reversal, right? And there's a lot of confluence here. There's a lot lining up for this. Would have been a small entry or small window of opportunity to get in on the trade. But there was something there. And then I also kind of highlighted what we'd like to see to get into a more conservative entry. And that would just be another pullback, maybe a double top, any sort of pattern, reversal pattern off 38.2. And then you would get into something like that. Target back down towards 1870. Get a nice little 2.5, 2.7 to 1. Again, this will vary slightly. But yeah, could be a good trade, right? If you're not in already. Right, so that's what we're looking at for the week. I mean, this is over 400 pips, risking about 100 for 400. It's a massive trade. And for this to be completely invalid, and for us to start looking at gold as more bullish, we would need to see a break back above 1930, ideally structure right above that, and then good follow through. Then we would be targeting back towards prior highs. The 2000 level becomes reality again. And yeah, but we're obviously far from that happening. So right now we're looking for shorts on gold. Interesting week though, guys. Crazy, crazy movement. I mean, just on the amount of volume we've seen in the past week, we're talking thousands and thousands of pips. It's really nuts. It's crazy stuff. But quick recap, guys. I covered DXY, AU, AJ, UJ, EJ, and gold. And they are all active charts. So you can jump over to TradingView and play these forward, see which trade scenario, price actions following. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for you guys. I'm gonna pass it off to Angelo, see what he's looking at.
All right. It's about that time.
Let's see what you got.
Pull up these charts. Professional analyst life. Let's see. Let's see what we got going on here. All right, so I was measuring BTC's demise. We're gonna leave it like it is for now. We're gonna start off with DXY. God damn, this thing's flying, huh?
right? It's just,
Fuck.
it doesn't stop. It keeps getting more steep.
Dude, this
Wild
is,
stuff.
man, anyone that doubted the US economy is fucked. Like, god
Anyone
damn,
who
man.
doubted. It's a little sketchy. It's a lot of sketchy.
Little double bottom right here. Should have fucking bought in right there.
Oh man.
God
You could just see
damn.
the interest shifted so hard
Dude, right?
into the
What
dollar.
happened? When was this? June
This is just,
2021?
yeah, since June. So, I mean, I just think a lot of interest, foreign interest has been coming into the dollar as a lot of uncertainty arises. Like things aren't going that well in other parts of the world. So when
Right.
that's happening,
You're saying with Eastern Europe, it's actually pushing more people to invest in the dollar.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, because now that Trump's out, there's more stability over here.
Yeah, that's what I was analyzing the other day. I was trying to find a period of like the US dollar being super strong, but not like unsustainable. So it's still moving up, but like in a good trend.
Wow,
And uh
look how wait, when did Biden get elected?
uh if
2020?
yeah, 2020, but I don't
Yeah,
November
2020. Dude,
2020,
look
I
at
believe.
this. Look at this is Trump when COVID started, down, down, down. Biden gets elected. He takes office. Double bottom. Fuck.
Oh man. But this
Dude.
is why I think it's messed up though, because there's a lot of like obviously if you live in the US, you guys know that things are getting harder here. Like we're not necessarily in a good state. The dollar sure as shit isn't supposed to be gaining value. I mean, we printed half of the dollar since COVID in existence. It doesn't make sense why we should be going up in value, you know, with inflation as well. So we're still appreciating, even though our economy is really not doing that good on paper. And there's a lot of foreign interest jumping into the dollar, which is further pushing it up. So like I just think it's just a super unsustainable trend, and that's just a lot of speculation driving this up. When we do come back, I think it's gonna come back hard, real hard.
So basically, when Trump gets readmitted to Twitter and then gets elected.
Exactly. We'll resume normal market conditions then.
Fuck. But that's
It
crazy how it stabilized. Like
yeah, like literally perfect
fucking
double bottom
scary.
to the moon. Yeah. Like this trend right here is nice. Over in 2019, like see how we're going up in that channel? Like that's sustainable. That's nice.
Yeah.
You know, it's taking a lot of time to make ground, but that's good. You don't want fast movements. And when
And
you're
then
dealing with
COVID just
economies,
fucking
yeah, that
boom.
screwed us. And then look, it dumped
Boom.
down. And then this double bottom is the Fed pulling every single lever in history to try and get us back. And then boom, there we are now. Plus everything else that's happening.
So yeah, price has not been this high since 2002.
Right. So that's my opinion, but I'm not a professional financial advisor, guys. Don't take my opinion. Don't
When
worry.
was wait, when was September 11th? That was 2001.
Yeah, yeah, one.
Where so that was here.
Yep.
Wow, fucking things really went downhill after that.
Yeah, after that, right? 02 to 08, it's a complete shit show. Yeah,
Wow, that really fucked the people investing in the dollar.
it screwed a lot. I mean, I'm sure that there were a lot of other factors there. I mean, this is also that was the start of our war too. We were in war for a long period, or at war for a long period after that point.
But isn't that interesting how there was a crash? Wasn't there? There was a crash in 2008,
Yeah. And
right?
then the
Which,
80s. To go back to
yeah.
the 80s, look at that drop. 85.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
Stockbrokers were
They
doing
really
something.
don't know what they're doing over here. This is fucked up.
It's all speculation, guys. Like, you got to see it for what it is
Well, I look at it
sometimes.
like this, like 2008 had that little bubble, but then from there, things got pretty strong.
Yeah. Well, the way that, like, okay, so the dollar appreciation is going to vary a lot different. Like, if the US is dealing with internal problems, it's not going to be as big of an issue if it's a global issue, like investing into the dollar. And then if people lose interest in the dollar, then it'll really affect it. you know, like foreign interest, especially.
Yeah.
That's really what makes these huge swings. Like 08 was just us kind of screwing ourselves.
Dude, I'm so concerned.
Yeah, no, me too. I was telling I was actually discussing this with my parents the other day. I was telling them, you guys got to move some shit.
Yeah, this is
The shit's looking a little sketchy right
gotta invest in some foreign land.
now. Yeah.
Fuck.
Just get into more conservative stuff, you know, because like if you're in you know, any long-term stocks or like, you know, conservative stuff, you should be up quite a bit over the last couple of years. You know, now's the time to be thinking about taking profits, adjusting into some more conservative stuff, because what goes up must come down. You know, so ride it out, you know, go conservative for now, and then, you know, switch back to aggressive after you endure the drop or the, you know, the quote unquote recession or whatever, the pullback.
Yeah, this is a big move up. So we're up. Looking at DXY, we're up. Let's see last week how we're looking. All right, so this was last week's analysis. As you could see, spot on.
Phenomenal.
As you can see, so looking at it, let's go back and you know why is very simple, guys. We're trying to simplify this as much as possible. Going into last week, we saw this doji right here, and then we had the weekly resistance level. So that's why we were assuming that we were going to have some sort of reversal. And then down to the 4 hour, we were pretty much, if we come back, where did last week open? On the 19th or
It was the
oh no, the
24th
22nd.
or 22nd.
Yeah, we were right here. So we had broken this trend. We came down. We were looking for the retracement. We never actually got a retracement right here. We just continued to dump. So there was really no entry on this, at least for me. And then now we have a retracement. And this is pretty much our first a lower high that we're about to form after the dump. So if we go here, we put our fibs on, fib this up. We're right around 38.2 area, 61.8. So pretty much I'm looking to short it like right in this area. I'm going to actually move this down a little bit more. I'm going to move it to like right here. So this would be the trade idea for GJ for the week. Swing trade this one, wait for it to come up a little bit more, and then swing this thing to the downside. I mean, if we come back up again to the weekly, we do have this huge wick to the downside, which isn't that great from last week. But overall, we're in an uptrend, but we're certainly overextended. So it has some room to come down to retest this support level right there. It is interesting how it did retest kind of this support area right there, but 4 hour time frame, unless we break above this red zone, we're continuing to look for sells on this one. So let's go to NZD USD, see how this one continued to play out. So we had a couple different trade ideas with this one last week. So let's go. This has been playing out all the way since March. So let's come up to the weekly time frame and just start all the way from the top. Because we had this sell that we've been in for a couple of weeks now, April 11th. So we've been in this sell for a while. So we're going to clear this up. We finally hit final TP, which is all the way down there. So let's clear all of this up. And let's actually reevaluate. And see how we had this buy, like this buy would have been a 1% loss, and then the sell was a 10-1, right? So always be looking at both sides, you know, be looking at multiple different scenarios because you don't want to just take a loss and then get stuck sitting on the sidelines, you know, miss out on the actual good trade. So coming up to the weekly, as we can see, we do have this weekly support level down here. So we've got, and this is based on, we got support, we have resistance, we have support, support. And then we have a little bit more support right here. So we're back in the zone. Look how last week how it closed though. Literally no wick to the downside, guys. So what this is telling me is that there's a lot of sellers in the market right now. And as we saw with the dollar, that thing boosted to the upside. I do expect there to be some sort of pullback. So if it does pull back, that means NZD will have a pullback as well, which we would like to have. We can't really do anything right now. I wouldn't take a sell I wouldn't take a buy. Ideally what we're looking for is a retest of a previous lower high point. And I'm just going to come up to this. This is a more significant level that I would definitely take sells off of. And let's come back to the 4-hour and see where that is. So that's, as you can see, a 4-hour time frame. That's right where this rejected previously. So I would only take a sell pretty much at this level, or if price breaks below this red zone right here and then has a pullback into this area. So those are really the only two areas that I would actually take sell opportunities. I'd put this one there, and then you have your second one down here. So these are two very simple trade ideas you guys can use. And then for targets, what I would do is come back up to the weekly time frame, and I would target pretty much this level of support right there. And we can zoom out and actually make some better targets. But let's come down here and just do this, at least 2 to 1. This one will move down a little bit more and put it in this area. So it's about a 3 to 1. So for targets, I always like to use these red zones, and obviously I don't have one marked lower. So what I'll do is I'll just zoom out, and look and see where is our next support and resistance level. And it looks like there's one right around there, and there's another one a little bit lower. And we'll go over why I placed these two zones. We can clean this one up just a little bit. I don't like doing these zones too wide. Do this, do this. All right, so reason I drew this lower zone is pretty much we have support, we have resistance all in this area. And then we have support right here. And the reason I drew this zone, because we have support, and then we have resistance right there. So that's actually what I'm going to use for my target. So I'm going to lower this down to this red area. And I'm going to lower this one down to this red area. Boom. So NU on the 4-hour time frame, we're looking for pullbacks. We're looking to continue to break support levels. And if we do get our ideal trade opportunity, we're going to have a 3 to 1 risk reward, and here we would have a 4 to 1 risk reward. So look out on that one. Let's go over to UCAD. This is a trade that I had given out a couple weeks ago, and as you can see, we're about to hit final take profit on this one. Huge swing trade. So let's make sense of all this. Let's move up. Last week we were looking for a re-entry, and we were only looking to re-enter if we actually hit this previous level of resistance. As you can see, it didn't hit that area, but it did continue to push to the upside. So at this point, I would just consider this order closed. We nearly hit the take profit. It's going to hit it though. It's going to reach this red zone. You guys will see, just because this is the previous resistance level up on the weekly time frame where there's a ton of sellers sitting at. So it's definitely going to tap that area. But just coming back on the weekly, let's break down like why did I give out this trade idea? And looking at this lower level, we can see we have support all in this area. We have resistance, we have support, all on this area, guys. So pretty much once price actually came to the red zone and then had like a doji, then we were just looking for reversal ever since then. So coming down to the 4-hour, let's just take this off. This trade is pretty much over. At this point, what I'm looking for is for price to come up in this red zone and do some rejection, and then basically do one of these. Do some rejection, have a first lower high, and then boom, go to the downside. So not really a trade that's going to be available on this one. Still gotta kind of wait on the sidelines for this. So I'm going to keep UCAD kind of down my list. Let's go over to GU. But first, let's keep in mind, remember, with DXY, we're expecting DXY to actually have a bit of a retracement and then move to the upside. So not really a great trade idea materializing on UCAD right now. So I'm going to actually move this one down the watch list because we're not going to focus on that one. Now we have GU. As you could see, we had this trade idea, which was given a couple weeks ago, or I guess at this point a month ago. This is a true swing trade right here. Ended up playing out all the way 3 weeks later. So let's get rid of that. Last week we were just looking for it to continue to the downside. So let's clean this up a little bit here. Let's go up to the weekly. Boom. So we've got a weekly time frame. As you can see, it's just very bearish. So I'm just going to delete everything. And let's just start breaking this down together all the way from the weekly time frame. So what I like to do is I like to just zoom out, and I like to just get a sense of where is our support and resistance levels. And sometimes I'll like play around and look for a few different levels, but normally I'm able to kind of see them pretty clearly. And I like to just zoom out and like use some common sense here. I like to get a nice view of it. So as we can see, we've got resistance all on this area. We have support, support, resistance, resistance right here, right? So we're hitting this zone. We're back in this area. You can see the wick just tapped there and then rejected it. Like Nick said, quick wicks. So big quick wick last week with GU on the weekly. So coming down to the 4-hour time frame now. Structure on this time frame is still just bearish as hell, right? Very bearish. Boom, boom. But now we're starting to break some levels here. We had this like minor little break. Then we just broke this resistance level. Now we're seeing if we can hold above this resistance level. So I need something a little bit more major to actually start to take entries. I want to see price push up, hit the red zone, and find support. So this would be the trade idea for this one. And then the target, remember, we're always trying to target red zones here. I would keep my stop loss is good there. I'm going to bump up back up to the weekly, and let's just let's get another weekly zone going and zoom out. We've got one right here. So this one's a little bit sloppy, but it's based on resistance, support, resistance. Then it gets super sloppy in here. We've got resistance here, kind of gets sloppy there, but you can see we're rejecting that area. More resistance there, and then we've got minor resistance there. We have a minor little support there. So for the most part, the main areas where it rejects this is right here, right here. Obviously, we find support, push to the upside here, right? So there's a lot of areas where this becomes like basically a key area where it's moving from. That is basically where I would target, guys. I'm always trying to trade from red zone to red zone. As you can see, it's a true swing trade. It would be a 480 pip move, and our stop loss would be, our stop loss right now is 150 pips. I'm going to move this up to 100 pips, and then you could see we've got a nice risk reward of there, 4.78. So again, this is a true swing trade right here. Definitely wait for it to actually confirm, but this would be a decent trade idea to say the least. And for this to happen, this would mean the dollar would have to tank. So the dollar would have to really push down quite a bit if we're looking at it like this. Dollar is pretty overextended right now. It would have to come down 1.5. This is 3. So it would have to be a significant move to the downside. So we have to wait a little bit longer to see how this correlates with DXY. Again, these two, GU and NU is definitely more ready than GU. And it lines up more with DXY because DXY is bullish. We're looking to continue with NU to the downside. GJ, another trade idea that I'm, very much ready for. UCAT and GU. These are just forecasted ideas. These are definitely not ready yet, so definitely wait for these to materialize a little bit more. Let's go over to NAS 100. So this is a trade that we put together last week. We were pretty much saying that we should put a limit order right here, and ended up pushing to the downside. So let's take all of this off and kind of see where we're at. Let's hop up to the weekly. So this thing obviously very bearish, closed last week bearish, and we just closed below our main support level right there. So this is pretty significant moves. So we're expecting this to continue to move to the downside, to continue to be bearish. Now, the only times that I would actually take sells on this one is basically if we retest this area. So if price comes up and does a retest of this area, then we're going to target we are going to target this. This is just the previous resistance right here. And we could even move it down a little bit more, move it down like right there. Boom. Boom. So this would be the trade idea. Look for resistance, 2-to-1 risk reward. Trade with the trend, guys. Trend is your friend. Trend lines up on the 4-hour, on the weekly time frame. Don't need to overcomplicate it when it's lined up like that, truly correlated. So that's NAS 100. Let's go to BTC USD next. This one we're not really doing shit with this right now. I had forecasted this trade idea a while ago. Basically, price would come down to like 32, bounce around, and then ended up going bullish to about 100. I mean, I'm bullish on BTC long term. Nick, are you bullish on BTC long term?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
long term, definitely.
We're bullish, but whether it's gonna go bullish here, or all the way down here, who knows? So just make sure you don't lose your pants, waiting. Because if price
Yeah.
comes all the way down here, like we don't even really need to use. I feel like it's not even appropriate to use those. It's more like the pumps.
Yeah, like the next milestone.
Yeah, and like this would be kind of if you put in, $1 or whatever, this would kind of be your actual gain. You'd make like $2.2 or whatever, right? 2 times your money. And then you go down here. So if price comes all the way down here and you guys get in and it pumps, like you're gonna make 4 times your money on that. That's fire.
Yeah, that's probably the last time we'll see that on BTC ever. It quadruple in price if this does happen.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get to 100 guys, and that if that becomes a stable level in the next 5 years, you can't really see those percentages. How much higher can it go? $500,000.
Some guy was saying it's gonna go to $1 million.
I mean, maybe, but these scenarios are becoming less common as the market develops. So I mean, this will be interesting if this does play out this way. I hope not. But
Yeah, I mean, guys, it's
for the short
speculative.
term,
It's at this point, it's hard to say what it's gonna do. I mean, if we're just going based off of technicals, guys, this is how I kind of make sense of it. If someone says, should I buy BTC right now? It's falling, whatever. Fuck all this right here. When price was up here, what were you saying to yourself? I was going to sleep at night and I was like, if price comes down, I'm buying, right? Like I wish when price was all the way up here, I
right?
was like, damn, I wish I purchased down here. You know what I mean? When
Right. Yeah,
price was
you
all the way
gotta.
up here, I was like, fuck, I wish I purchased right here. Well, guess what? It fucking came back here. You know what I'm saying? Like literally every time it was up, when it was up here, everyone was like, fuck, I wish I purchased here. Fuck, it came right there. It was literally there, right?
Yeah.
To buy again. Then what happened? Came up here and everyone's like, fuck, I wish I purchased down here. Well, guess what? It fucking came back there again, right? So at this point, guys, you got to just buy. Like you got to just buy in. Right now, we're at a low. This is a higher low. It could be. Yes, it could go lower. It could go down there. Could go down here. But that's like anything else. Risk reward. The risk reward is here. The value to buy in is now. The value to buy in is now, right? If you're going to consider buying in lower, then save some money and buy in lower. But I would buy in some now, buy in some lower, just dollar cost average it. These are the levels that you want to buy in at. You don't want to buy the high. Fuck that. Fuck buying the high.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught up there. No shot.
No. So that's pretty much it. We got all the analysis posted in the channels. For you guys that are on here that are new, and maybe checking the Telegram, we are still doing the lifetime membership. So it's normally $9.99. We're doing 60% off. It's been posted pretty much everywhere. We're gonna wrap it up in the next couple days. We already had a bunch of people join, and pretty much we can only accept a certain amount of people because Nick's got to do the welcome calls and Hanzino, and the webinars get packed and stuff like that. So we don't really accept too many members. But if you guys are interested, I'll post some links in the Telegram after the call so you guys can get in on that. And yeah, other than that, like if you guys are taking challenges and stuff, trade responsibly this week. It's been definitely a choppy, past month. Let's hope that May is a little bit better. But considering Trump's about to make his big reappearance on Twitter, man, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, right. It's up in the air.
He's got to be coming back soon. Like I was reading about it today. Like that would be.
I mean, I hope so. I hope he
That-
doesn't feel a type of way where.
No, he said he's not. He said he doesn't want it. Like he's got
Yeah.
his truth now. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. We're not into politics, but we're just here for the entertainment in the markets.
Right.
We just want market entertainment, and his Twitter fingers to get things going. That's all. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was crazy times when he started off. I mean, he like was moving the market based on what he was saying. I don't think it'll be like that anymore, but it'll be good to have him back. That'd be nice.
Yeah. All right. So someone said, when will we be the 400K giveaway? So everyone that purchases the lifetime membership from this round is going to qualify for a 400K account giveaway. So one person that purchases the membership will win a 400K challenge with the funded trader. So that definitely is one perk. And then obviously everyone else will get opportunities to get funded. As a lifetime membership member, you also get discounts to all challenges in the future and everything like that. So yeah, we'll announce the winner soon, and Nick will be doing some more updates on his Instagram and Telegram coming up. So look out for that too, guys.
Oh yeah, big things in the works. But
yeah.
but yeah, guys, it's been another Sunday Market Blitz. Let's have a good week, and definitely join in Telegram, Discord if you guys need help or anything, need some guidance. We're here.
Yeah, Nick will be doing the live sessions in Discord throughout the week. So if you guys want to hop on and look at some more charts together, definitely hop in on the Discord.
Hell yeah, it's a great opportunity. We get to chat and dive into some stuff. But yeah, great stuff, guys. Good session. Thanks again for sticking on.
Let's go. All right, guys, enjoy the week.
Peace.